Hello everyone, Bill Coyle here with more travel agent tips. Today we're speaking with you about all-inclusive vacations. And we're very fortunate to have our good friend Stephanie, who happens to be a fellow travel agent and part of our marketing team here at KHM Travel Group. Stephanie, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad you invited me to join you today to talk about one of my favorite personal vacations and also one of my favorite types of vacations to sell to my clients. I've been selling travel for 10 years and resort vacations are a big part of that. So this is probably the best video I could be a part of.
Well, it's an amazing experience and it's an amazing value for our clients.
Absolutely.
So we need to really define the all-inclusive resort vacation. All-inclusive resorts include the all-inclusive meal plan, beverages, gratuities, non-motorized water sports, but those amenities can vary per resort. Is that not correct, Stephanie?
That's right. And this combination of inclusions is really what clients are looking for when they're calling you to book their all-inclusive resort vacation. They just want to get away, relax. They don't want the stress, and all-inclusives really allow for that.
Absolutely. And Stephanie, where can we find these all-inclusive resorts?
So primarily they're going to be Mexico and the Caribbean, but you're going to have clients contact you at times, maybe inquiring about Hawaii or mainland USA, maybe even Europe. All-inclusive resorts aren't really a thing there. And if you get a little bit of backlash from clients on this, you might want to remind them that all-inclusive resorts are really for relaxing, right? You're staying on property,
Yes.
You're vegging out by the pool. And when you're going to Europe or Hawaii, you want to get out and explore. It's all about the sightseeing and the attractions and the local food, not about staying at one particular resort your entire vacation.
Absolutely. I love that you said that because that's why it's all inclusive. The meals, the drinks, they have so many restaurants and great culinary choices on resorts. And in most other destinations, you want to get out there. And some of those resorts might have a breakfast plan included in them or possibly cocktail receptions in the evening, but not the all-inclusive plan.
Correct. They would have the European plan, but not the all-inclusive plan that people are more familiar with.
Let's speak about some of those common misunderstandings when it comes to all-inclusive vacations. In my experience selling all-inclusive resorts, I've noticed a lot of misunderstandings about the product or the booking experiences for the agent. What's included, what's not included. It's not free. You've already paid for it. I love when they say that. Oh, we have free drinks. I'm like, no, you paid for it. It's just in the all-inclusive plan.
Right.
What about gratuity? And I often speak to my clients about how much gratuity they need. American dollars for cash for additional tips that they might need, because gratuity in general is included, but you might need some additional cash for your server or for the cleaning crew in your room or things like that. So we always advise them on how much to bring.
Absolutely. Going above and beyond for that amazing service
Yes.
at the resort property.
As a travel agent, we need to be prepared to book the package when it comes to it, right? We're not just singling out and booking one
Right.
resort.
When you book your client's all-inclusive resort package, you are going to earn commission on that package, but you can increase that in a few different ways. So first you want to think about adding excursions and activities. So under your guidance, you'll be able to help your clients figure out what activities
Definitely.
would be perfect for them, right? Book it, earn a little extra commission. You might be able to do specialty dining in advance. That can vary, again,
Yes.
by resort and destination. But my personal favorite are the upgraded transfers. And I think that is a very easy sell for clients. If you tell them, we're going to book you nonstop private transfers versus those shared, let's make stops at the different resorts.
Correct.
That's a really easy sell for people.
I agree with you, and it's such a good value for them, and it adds commission to the booking.
Very, very much so. I also think it's really important that you focus on one supplier when you're selling all-inclusive resorts. And I think there's a couple of reasons for this. First, you get really comfortable with their booking engine, and you also want to find a supplier whose customer support
Yes.
meets the level of what you're looking for. And then on the flip side of things, as far as earning rewards, if you funnel your all-inclusive resort business to one supplier, you'll be able to take advantage more of those rewards programs that they offer. So things like the free seats on the aircraft or the travel discounts, gift cards, cash.
Absolutely.
That's really nice to kind of have that to pad your commission a little bit, right?
Totally agree with that.
Little extra perk in your pocket.
Yes, those programs that those resorts or the tour companies put out are just amazing for our agents. And I love the idea that you said about who's best for you, who's best for your client. What's it going to be like if they have to call direct to the tour company? Are they treating them well, or do they have to get a hold of you and you've got to call the tour company? So I love the idea of having that relationship with one supplier, keep that as your preferred supplier, and use that booking engine and understanding their products and destinations very, very well.
However, there are times you have to go outside your preferred supplier, and there's a few reasons for that too. It might be that your preferred supplier doesn't work with a particular brand that you're needing to book for your client. There could be certain promotions you're trying to take advantage of for your client. There could be some issues with resort availability or room category availability. So yes, have that preferred supplier that you know and love, but branch out and educate yourself on what other suppliers you can go to when you can't use the one that you work with the most.
That's extremely good advice for all of our travel agents. I love that you said that. So we get into the quality and experience, right? Not all inclusives are the same, right? We have variation between brands, and we have variation between even within the brands. Every resort may have a pool, but what are the lounge chairs like, right? What are the towels like? What's the service at the pool like? So we have to take that into consideration when we're speaking to our clients about it and what's the importance to them. There's a wide variety of resorts and brands, and the best way to learn is take advantage of education. Attend familiarization trips, which our host agency offers quite often, and experience the brands firsthand. I just got back from Mexico last week. We experienced 3 or 4 different resorts. While I was there, one of our supplier relations rep was there going to 11 resorts over 2 days. So it's the idea of getting out there and experiencing those brands. Plus, I was very fortunate to stay at a couple. So it worked out very, very well.
And that firsthand experience goes such a long way with clients, right? When they're sitting across from you and you can say, oh, I went there, let me show you my photos.
Yes.
Or not even just your personal experience, but if you've sent 20 clients there and you've had consistent great feedback from those clients, your client sitting across from you booking that particular vacation is going to be very interested,
no question,
in your experience personally, but also professionally in those that have gone before them. And when I worked in retail, we used to have clients that we had a relationship with. They would actually come in and say, where did you go last?
Yes.
We want to go there.
Exactly.
Because they knew us and what we liked, and they trusted us enough to know where they might want to go too.
Yes. And another value to a travel agent who understands that is they might come in with something and you're like, I don't think that that's best for you. I was there and I didn't like it for this reason. I suggest this.
Absolutely.
And that relationship is all too important.
So important. And the firsthand experience, that really gets that whole consultation going, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So we've discussed all-inclusive resorts. Let's briefly discuss cruises and the idea of the all-inclusive concept when really cruises are mostly a la carte.
Mostly a la carte, but kind of veering towards an all-inclusive feel now, right? Because when you book your clients' cruise vacation, you can now put in the prepaid gratuities, you can book the beverage packages in advance, your clients can book their excursions. So while it's not a true all-inclusive experience, it kind of takes on that vibe a little bit because they're taking care of so much in advance.
No question. And then the idea of Wi-Fi, if you want to add that in advance, or specialty dining becomes another thing. So I love that you said that. I think that I agree with you. The cruising industry is going toward that all-inclusive concept, because it is a lot to think. I paid the base price, I'm going to get on board, and now I'm going to get hit with all these other things. But if it's paid in advance, it's not free, it's paid in advance, then they know that it's partly all-inclusive. So if you want to know more about cruising, remember we've done a few travel agent tips on cruising, but put a comment in there and we'd love to do a future one if there's something that you need help with when it comes to cruising. So whether it's cruising or all-inclusive resort vacations, the all too important factor for our agents is qualifying the clients, right? What does that look like? Have we spoke to them enough? Have we asked those questions? Fortunately, with our KHM travel portal that we have those qualifying forms right in there, which include the resort questionnaire. It makes it easy and seamless for some of our new agents to go through those as they're developing their skills. And it's great. It's a great place to start for you. So make sure that you have a qualifying form when you're speaking to your clients so that you don't miss anything. You can always refer back to that when it comes to the actual booking process. So Stephanie, what tips do you have for agents when it comes to qualifying their clients for an all-inclusive vacation?
Well, I think there's a few things you really need to focus on when you're sitting down with your clients and talking about this type of vacation. The first thing as a travel agent you need to remember is that most people are going to all-inclusive resorts to relax and to reconnect. And because they're going to be spending so much time on resort property, you really want to spend time addressing their wants and needs when it comes to resort layout, resort size, resort atmosphere, amenities. So when I sit down with my clients and we're planning their resort vacation, the first thing I ask them is, what is important to you for this particular vacation? Because each vacation is different, even if it's with the same client. So you want to ask them, why are you going? What's important to you? Who's traveling? Because this can really vary kind of what their needs are going to be for this trip. So some things to consider are going to be, do they want a family-friendly property or an adult-only property? If they want an adult-only property, do they want a true adult-only property? Or are they okay with an adult section in a family resort? Those are very different, and you want to make sure you get it right with that. Another thing to consider is food preferences or dietary needs. What kind of activities or entertainment do they gravitate towards? And probably the biggest one in my consultation is beach or pool.
Huge.
Because as I'm talking with my clients, I'm mentally putting resorts on a list, even in that consultation, right? And if they say, oh, beach, so important, I'm maybe taking some off, maybe putting some on, just in that mental list as I'm speaking with them. A couple other things to consider: resort size. Some people like the huge sprawling properties with all the activities and the golf carts that kind of take you where you want to go. Some people do not want that. They want the intimate property where you can quickly walk to wherever you need to be. I've had clients say no swim up bar, that's a deal breaker. So for some people, that swim up bar is really important. And for families, particularly those traveling with really young children, the kids clubs and the details about kids clubs or amenities for children is going to be super important. And the last one that I don't think it's talked about enough is location of resort. So you might be qualifying your clients and have all of these amazing resorts in mind, but if they tell you we're only doing 3 or 4 nights, maybe you want to rule out some of those properties that are too far from the airport, because you don't want to spend your whole vacation in a transfer vehicle.
I'm so glad you brought that up, and it's so important for our agents to understand the geography of the destination they're going to, right? How far is Tulum from Cancun Airport? How far is Puerto Morelos from Cancun Airport? It's the same idea in Jamaica, it's the same idea in the Dominican, and other places in the Caribbean. I love that you said that it's so critical that we take that into consideration, and it does kind of narrow the search for us to say, oh my gosh, do these fit those categories? In addition to our standard qualifying questions, be sure to ask about our clients' accessibility needs. It becomes very important, right? Most of our properties outside of the US, obviously, are not necessarily ADA compliant, right? But it doesn't mean that your clients can't travel there. We just have to qualify them, make sure we've done our research on that particular resort or chain, speak to them directly, let them know exactly what's going on with your client so that they can best suit their needs to their stay. If you didn't watch it already, be sure to watch our travel agent tips on accessibility travel. It was just wonderful and very informative. So Stephanie and everyone else, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch. We appreciate you, Stephanie, for taking your time out to be with us today and joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad I got to join you. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed talking about one of my favorite types of vacations.
Yes.
Hopefully this gives our travel agents a little boost of confidence when it comes time to sell those all-inclusive resorts.
I'm sure that it will, and we hope to have you back again. Hint, hint. Please comment below what travel agent tips you want to see in the future, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Take it easy.